to talk about paychecks today because if you really pay attention to Dave Ramsey, any of the gurus out there, they are going to tell you how to divide up your paycheck. And I don't agree, but I want to go over what the paycheck schedule looks like if you are following Dave Ramsey, especially. I followed Dave Ramsey. I don't have a problem with Dave Ramsey. I just feel like that his way was so difficult for me that it didn't make any sense. I just couldn't. I had two small kids when I started really getting serious about my finances, and I literally had no money left over paycheck to paycheck. I'm thinking, I figured at one time I had $50. And when Dave Ramsey was telling me to take the $50 and put it onto a loan, I'm like, I can't do that because what if the kids need something? What if I didn't know anything? They wanted to do something at the school, a ball game or something, and it costs a few bucks to get in. There was just always a reason that I did not want to throw my extra cash into that loan because I know that once it went in there, it was gone. It was gone for good, right? So with a line of credit, we don't have to worry about that. You put your money in, you need it, you pull it back out. That's why I absolutely love the lines of credit. But back to the paycheck that Dave Ramsey wants us to do. He wants us to take 50% for our needs. So that's your groceries, your gas, needs. Like, I guess, does that include your house payment? I guess that includes your house payment, car payment, 50%. Okay. Now, if you go to the bank to get a mortgage, even, they're going to look at your DTI and they're going to base it off of what you have going out per month for basic living expenses. But then, if you have a car, a mortgage, whatever, they're going to figure that in. They do not usually want you to exceed 42% of that, meaning 42% of what you actually bring in to your home every month. So when he's talking about 50% here, he's talking about that should be your house payment, your car payments, your groceries, and that's unrealistic because, think about it. If you make $5,000 a month, $2,500 going to not only your bills, your payments that you're making, but also to all of these needs. Well, some people I deal with, their house payment is $2,500. So if they're bringing in $5,000, they don't have any money for the electric bill. So this to me, I always thought was unrealistic. He says 30% should go to your wants. I'm trying not to laugh out loud. Who has 30% to, go to a Taylor Swift concert? That's not realistic. I never could do that. I never had any money for wants, much less 30% of what I was making. And then he wants you to put 20% in savings. Well, I just couldn't go with this formula because I just didn't have the money to do that. And my debt was so extensive that it was taking almost 100% of my paycheck every time I got paid. So I don't know if you guys are in that situation, but if you are, the lines of credit can help you come out of that situation. It can help you get everything in order so that you're not struggling paycheck to paycheck, so that you don't feel that weighted down suffocation. I hated that. I still feel it when I say that out loud. I just said it out loud and I literally have my chest tighten up because I was so sick and tired of living strapped all the time for money. I could never get my kids anything and I just did not want to do it anymore. And I just prayed about it and it was like within no time, I learned about velocity banking. So it has been my game changer, and I hope that it's yours as well. It's a very, very simple process. Do we need to wait to get a HELOC until the feds drop their rate, or does it even matter? That's a great question. I would go ahead and move forward if you think you can get into it, because when the rates drop, yours will drop with it. They don't lock in HELOC rates. So go ahead and be in the process. They're supposed to drop them in September. Again, I think they've dropped them once. You're going to see it in September, but I heard they're going to drop again in September. So for Essens, oh my gosh, that Tennessee term just came out, Essens. Is that what they say around here? So when we are in a line, we really get to take advantage of those lower interest rates because they automatically drop if you're not locked in. Okay. The velocity calculator, we just got it set up today. I'm super excited about it because people have been asking me for this velocity calculator for an entire year. And here we are. So I'm just so excited about it. I'm just wanting everybody to have everything that you need to really get moving forward in your own finances. We have second position HELOC. Should we apply for a first lien? Do you have a 700 credit score? If you do, then I don't know why you wouldn't. I mean, I would if I were you. I'm actually myself transferring my second position into a first in January. I had to wait because because I switched employment. And when you do that, you have to wait 2 years, because they need to see 2 years of steady employment, I guess they call it, or whatever. Even though I've always worked, you have to be in the same line of work for 2 years. So I have to prove that in January, and I cannot wait because it's just what I've told you all is it gives you 80% in Texas. But it gives you 90% in most of the other states of your value of that home. And I mean, why shouldn't we have access to the equity in our home, right?
We have a question. We have a second position HELOC on a home that we're renting. We don't have any on the current home we live in.
Okay.
So applying for a first lien, would it be for the primary home or would it be for the rental?
No.
That we have the second position.
You can only do a first lien HELOC on your primary residence.
Okay.
But we are allowed to have 2 HELOCs on different homes, though.
Yes, but you cannot have a first lien on a rental. You can only get a second position, which is what you have right now.
Correct.
So yes, you can still go get the first lien as long as you can qualify. Yes. 90% of the value of the home or the difference between the loan and the value. Yeah, so 90% of the value, and then they subtract out that balance that you have on your mortgage because they're going to pay it off if it's the first lien. If it's the second position, let me just show you because I don't want anybody to get confused about that. And I've shown this in videos and stuff before, but let's just talk about it. Okay, so if you have, let's say you have a $300,000 value on your property. So the value's 300. Then if you're in any state, but Hawaii, Alaska, Texas, and Maryland, you should be able to get a 90% loan to value. So 300,000 times 90% is $270,000. So $270,000 is your loan to value out of the 300,000. Well, if you have a $200,000 balance on your current mortgage, that means you would have access to $70,000 of your equity. So you would be able to use $70,000. Now, if this is a first lien HELOC, then that $270,000, after it pays off this, you still have this, but this $200,000 that you had in the mortgage is now your line of credit, meaning that you have this balance in your line and it can be used as a revolving line of credit. You still have access to this to use, though. You just don't have to. If you're just looking to pay off your home, this is what it would look like. If you're looking to pay off your home and a car, for example, then if it's $50,000, then they would pay off the car, and then you would have $20,000 available.